Hello, welcome back to everyone. On today's Matt's World DIY, I'm going to show you how I set up my Aquatop Pices 5-gallon nano tank that I purchased for my little betta fish. I'll put links in the description for all the items that you see that I'm using today, so you can check that out if you'd like. So first of all, I had a selection of plants and rocks and things that I'm going to put in the tank. But to attach some of these plants, I need this Gorilla Super Glue gel. And it is safe for your aquariums and for your fish and that type of thing, and it actually won't kill the plants. So some plants, if they have rhizomes on them, you know that they need to be attached to a rock or a piece of driftwood or something like that to put in your tank. They should not be buried in the substrate. So I really apologize, I don't remember the names of all these plants, but I think that's Anubis, and then there's some Java fern, and then some sword plants that I put into the substrate. So while all of that is drying, let me show you some of the hardscape that I have for my aquarium. I found some really cool river rocks in my neighborhood, and I decided I was going to use those, as well as I bought this little rock cave off of Amazon. Again, you can check out the link in the description for that. One of my problems is my last tank I had was a very large 55-gallon. This is just a 5-gallon tank. And right here I'm washing everything off, but my point was that sometimes you have to think smaller, and I ended up having too many large items to put in the tank, so I ended up having to change my plans. But I've inserted all of the items into the compartment there that sits on the side of this awesome aquarium, and there's the lid that goes on top. Now, before I set anything up, I wanted to make a backdrop for the back of the aquarium. So I got this matte black poster board from Dollar Tree and just measured out what the perfect size would be for the back of the tank. And all I did was attached it with some Scotch tape, some clear tape. And I just put one little piece on each one of the corners. So this will make a nice, dark, moody environment for my aquascaping. Now, I found a location for me to place the tank, and I just set a dish towel, a black dish towel on top, and then put the tank there. The substrate I'm using is this black diamond blasting sand. I got it from Tractor Supply, and it's kind of a medium grit. A lot of aquarists or aquarium keepers use this. It's totally safe for your fish. You just have to make sure you rinse it very well before you put it into your tank. So here I am placing my wet black sand in the bottom of the tank, and that's going well. I put about 2 to 2.5, 3 inches in places, I guess, so that things would have a place to sit. Now it's time to place my hardscape, and here's where I'm like, my eyes were bigger than the actual space that I had to use, and I was like, where can I put this? Where can I put that? Is he going to have room to swim? Where am I going to put the plants? So I started with all of the rooted plants first. I put those swords in, and I wanted it mostly in the back, just to kind of have a nice backdrops, and so I did that, and it looked pretty nice, I thought. And then I placed the other plants that were glued to rocks. And just understand, whenever you're doing this, you're never going to end up with what you start with. So let me just tell you, I did not end up with what I have here. I thought it looked nice, but then I realized later there's just too much stuff in there. So after I put the water in and let the tank cycle for a while, I also used some API Quick Start bacteria in a bottle to help get this cycling process underway, get it started, so that I didn't have to wait like 2 months before getting my fish to put in here. Anyway, I love the way these rocks look with the striations on them and just the shape. And I wanted to also make sure I got smooth things for my fish. So let's go to Petco and check out some of the fish. This guy is just beautiful. Oh, I really maybe should have looked at him a little bit more. But anyway, I knew I wanted a male, and I knew that I wanted something that maybe had a light color to it to contrast with the darkness of the tank. These tangerine koi males are so beautiful. I just love their colors. And they are also one of the more expensive fish that you can find over there. You can get something for everything from about $5 to 25. Here's a galaxy koi male. Beautiful, beautiful fish. This guy was really high on my list. I looked at him and I was like, oh, okay, a half moon is cool. They got great finnage and I like his light color. He has nice bright colored eyes. I was not quite sure. This was my next big contender yeah, I think that's maybe the tangerine koi or the tangerine galaxy male. Veil tails I'm not too cool on. Their tails, they just look like really lazy and stuff like that. But I love this paradise male's color. This was my fish. I thought I was going to be taking him home. But I don't know. You'll have to keep watching and see who I chose. Here's another veil tail. I like the color, but the shape of the fins, they look so lazy all the time. Butterflies are pretty as well. And I hear that if you put your finger up to the jar and if they look at it, they follow it, they're responsive to it, that could be a good sign of a healthy fish. But most of these guys didn't even do that. I like this one. He's another half moon. That's the shape of the tail. And I really like those colors. The blue is good and it's offset well with the light colors. And just check out those galaxy fish. Oh my goodness. The scales are so bright and reflective. They're really cool. Here's that guy again. I'm just like, is he going to be the one? I don't know. So I was also thinking of a white fish, either a platinum like this delta fin, delta tail. That's a female, but she has those big fins. And so what I ended up doing was I took my top 3 choices and I placed them side by side. The Stars and Stripes is beautiful, but that was not one of them because I think he was just too dark. So here are my 3 choices. I put the half moon double tail male, that he's kind of a peachy color. This other one who was nice and light colored with red, and his eyes looked really nice too. And then there was the tangerine koi male. You could have predicted that. I just thought he was spectacular looking, and he was very responsive too. So I asked for some, opinions in the store and came down to a decision. And then you'll just have to see who I chose. So what did I get when I went to the store? These are some things. So I knew I would needed to get some food. So I got these fish flakes, not necessarily for the Betta, but for these little guys, these rosy red minnows, because I have a little pond outside and I was going to put them in there. And here is who I chose. Yes, I took the half moon double tail male. He is so pretty. I love how he has these little red streaks and things in his fins. And he's bright and he's light. Well, his name is Butch. Oh, I asked for so much help from friends about what am I going to name him? What do I name him? And I kind of thought, well, he's a male, but he kind of looks really, really pretty. So I call him Butch. It's a real masculine name. And he's a masculine fish, but he looks like he's a girl wearing a pretty peach colored dress. Anyway, right now he's getting antsy. He's like, let me out of this jar. I want to go check out my house. So he's very energetic and really eager to get into the water, but I was acclimating him first. So I gently placed him in, and immediately he started investigating his new environment. He's very, very happy. He's very, like I said, energetic, and he's always opening up his fins and showing off how pretty he is. But he does have his right ventral fin. It's the fins that are like under his gills or whatever. They kind of point down. The one on the right there, you can see it's kind of like a little nubby deformity. So he's my special needs kid, but he doesn't let it slow him down. And I almost named him Nemo, but that's kind of cliche. Here I'm just changing the light color to see what he looks like under different lighting conditions. And look what he did in the first 12 hours. He built a bubble nest. Now I know that does not necessarily mean he's ready to mate or anything like that. It could mean that, but I think moreover, he's just saying, this is my territory. And don't you come in and interrupt anything. You stay away. This is my place. But look at him. I even caught footage of him him making his bubble nest. And he was just going to town. And he's actually made 2 of these in the past few days, in the first few days that I had him. Here, I just wanted to show you how pretty he is. He's just looking at me like, what? Yeah, it's my bubble nest. You stay away from it. This is my place, and it's my place only. Leave me alone. Anyway, look how pretty his eyes are, and his scales are so nice and clean. He's almost translucent in places. You can see right through him. But I thought that he had really pretty finish. And after I took out some rocks and rearranged some plants and stuff, I did add a sponge filter to help with the water conditions. And here he is enjoying all the extra movement of the water. I know they don't usually like really powerful water. It kind of exhausts them. But I have found that he goes in there and he plays sometimes. He plays in the bubbles, and he's very peculiar. But I think he is happy, and he's eating well, and he hasn't built another bubble nest since I put that sponge filter in, because I think there's maybe too much agitation of the water on top. But anyway, he is super happy. He's super pretty. I'm very happy with how all of this turned out. I've had him for a few weeks already, and I did do a good cleaning and a partial water change just prior to putting in the sponge filter. And nothing has seemed to be negatively impacting his health or his quality of life in his new home. I love him so much. It's just a joy to have him sitting in my office with me as I sit here all day. And I'll just turn and look at him and relax, and he is something that helps me calm down and just kind of chill out. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check out some of my other DIY videos that I have on my DIY playlist. But in the meantime, Butch and I say we'll see you next time.